Hello, welcome to my video, and today we will answer some questions from the Icebreaker 2. I haven't played this game, but today we will try to answer some of the questions from this box. I bought this years ago and I forgot actually why I bought this thing. When you open the box, there are two stacks of cards here. And according to the rules, we have to place them down. Sorry if it's not included in the screen. So it says here, this is for 2 or more persons, but I'm only one. But it's alright, the other person is you. Yeah, you who's watching right now. So what we'll do is, I'll just take 10 questions from these cards and we'll answer wholeheartedly whatever that I will be picking here. Okay, let's start. First, the question is, what is scary, if anything, about your relating intimately with someone? Ooh, I think that part when you are being very open to that person, to share everything with him or her, things that you should have kept in yourself. And then what is scary is that if you are not okay with that person, or if that person leaves you and they know their secrets about you, and thinking that they might spill it to other people, then I think that will be the most serious part. So this one. So the question is, how have you valued material gain over friendship? This question seems to be difficult. I think I don't look after, or I don't go much for the material things that I can gain from a friend, because I value the relationship that we have, the friendship that we have, the not material things that we have with each other. So I value more the time, the openness, being understanding of how's the day of each other, something like that. For the third question, comment on this. Kindness is love's conduct. There. Kindness is love's conduct. Well, it's true, di ba? According to a Bible verse, love is not jealous. It is kind, it is patient, it is not jealous. It is so pure that when you don't do any of those, or you don't follow any of those things mentioned in that Bible verse, I forgot actually what that Bible verse that is, but it's a popular Bible verse talking about love. So I think when someone is really kind, someone who is really understanding, it's so true. You can say for sure that love is really true when you can see kindness from that person. Here's another question. So share an experience wherein you felt so out of place. I mostly have felt being out of place when I was young. Yeah. Unlike when I'm already in my 20s. Before, when I was a child, or when I was in the kindergarten or in the elementary, I am mostly out of place. Maybe because I really can't relate that much well with my friends and with my classmates. I think that's being an introvert. Aside from that, I think one factor that made me feel out of place from my classmates and friends is that, unlike them who are well off, they are provided with almost everything that they want. Compared to me, we are very much limited. Like, I know my parents can afford that, to buy it for us, for me and my brother, but since we don't have enough money, we don't acquire easily those things that we really want. I guess that factor makes me out of place when I was younger. But fortunately, during these adult years, especially during the 20s, I really feel much more engaged and relatable to my colleagues and friends in the workplace. The question is, what examples would you like others to follow about you? Oh, there are so many things that I want others to follow from me. For my students specifically, I really want them to learn to be more interested in reading pieces of literature, to read actually anything that suits their interest. I think it's in reading that one becomes more learned, one becomes more open-minded, and aside from reading, I want also others to be kind and be more understanding. I think it's in these traits that we become better persons, and if we are good persons, we are understanding of what other is experiencing, then I can say that you are a good person. I'm a good person, and I believe that whoever I know, my friends, I'm a good example for them. How do you express your anger to your enemy, to your best friends, to a parent? Oh, don't try to make me angry because I'm the worst. Okay. When I am angry towards anyone, I think this applies to all. I think the reaction of most people would be, is that really Jessa? Is that really you? Diba? Because in normal situation, I am just neutral. I almost express no emotions. But if I am really, really angry because someone offended me or something did bad to me, one thing, I don't talk to them. I give a silent treatment for them. I think I do that so that they can think, what's wrong? What did I do? But sometimes there are people who cannot observe that. Yeah, and that's one thing. I give a silent treatment. The worst thing that makes me angry, in order for me to express that, is when I say, this is the ultimate, this is the worst, I say bad words. So many people don't expect me to say bad words, or I don't curse. It's only the time that I'm angry that I'm able to say those harsh words, those foul words. But in normal conditions, I'm alright. I know that I should not say these things. So, don't try me. So here's another question. Here, when you were a kid, how did you creatively avoid the food you hated? Did I dislike some foods when I was young? I think there are just a few. Yeah. What I did, I just simply separate those parts of the food that I don't like. Sometimes I'm not a creative person. That's why it's really obvious when I don't like something. Yeah. So siguro if I will think creatively on how I will avoid the food that I don't want to eat, I just separate it. I don't pick it. Which of your parents' rule do you appreciate the most and why? I think in a house, setting rules is the most important because children become more disciplined. I think I appreciate most from my parents' rule is that they make sure that we are safe. They always ask us where are we going, who are we with, how will we go there, and we should be home by a certain hour. When I was young, of course, it was an early hour, but when we grew up, when I was already a teenager, we made sure that we are at home by around 7. Or if we are outside with our friends, we make sure that we are at home by 10 p.m. Now we're down to 2. What was the biggest surprise you ever had? Ooh. What could be the biggest surprise you ever had? I'm not really a fan of surprises. I also don't want others to surprise me by giving gifts, or I don't want anyone to surprise me. I can't remember. why do I forget the biggest surprise I had when I should remember it the most? But what's on my mind right now is when the people who passed by my life gave gifts. Those guys. Because I think that I'm not really a special someone. I am not an important person to be given surprises like this. The biggest surprise that I can consider are those that come from those who confess that they like me and then they give something like stuffed toy. Fill in and share. One of the first ways I ever reacted to a declaration of love was, so it's like a follow-up question or statement from the previous. Maybe it was over a text. There was this guy who told me that he's true. It was true that he wanted to court me, and I said that I don't want to be in a relationship for this certain year and that I will just be open after that year. And when that year came, so this guy returned and he messaged me and he said that he wanted to court me, and then because of what happened to me personally, I became afraid and I didn't give a chance. Though I did not say it directly, I told him that getting into a relationship is very tiring, very tiresome. If ever I will be in a relationship again, it's just a waste of time, just a waste of money, just a waste of effort. So I think that was really disgusting. If I was the man who would court me, I reacted that way because I wanted to discourage that person right away from that man. It's like, let's stop it right now. Let's not pursue. It's actually, I don't want to say that I don't like him. It's just that I don't want to waste another time with another person knowing that in the end we'll not meet again. So it's like I'm assured. And it's a bad trait, but that's how I felt during that time. And there you go, our 10 questions that I answered from the Icebreaker 2. So I hope you learned a lot from me, even if I just only answered 10 questions. So that's all for now. Let's try to answer another set of questions